seek the world. Everybody want to be spiritual till it's time to be spiritual. So let's get it. It's your boy Calez. Now what I realize sometimes is I get too damn spiritual for y'all. Like I'll start going to like the higher dimensions and shit, and sometimes it's kind of hard for y'all to grasp. So the spirits came to me, and now I understand, a new way of how to, communicate with y'all on y'all level. So what we got to understand is that, so what I'm gonna do today is a part 2 of why money needs you and you don't need it. So first, what you got to understand with this shit is that you got to realize that the world that we live in has been debunked in a way. So if you get into things like quantum physics, the split effect, where they realize like the world works by frequencies. You get into you can go on YouTube and just YouTube the world, the world being an illusion, or it being or it being non-physical in a sense. So it'll be like a certain type of it'll have like a quantum physics understanding. And these are all things you can look up, you know what I'm saying? They say everything is energy, or all this is light, or we just looking at this in numbers, but we just interpret it as light, and color is just numbers too, you know what I'm saying? So it's many ways you can question this, you get what I'm saying? So that's a I'll jump, that when you get into that, you start searching more and researching more, because of science and history can really subside your ego and start opening your subconscious up for questions. And when that opens up for questions, you start to emit a certain light in your subconscious. So that really means you're open to a certain idea of the origin of your soul, or the origin of your spirit, which is a primordial substance. And what I'm saying, it's probably not even substance, I'm probably not even saying that right, but it's primordial. And what primordial means, before something existed. So what comes up must come down. So everything that is in this reality comes from the higher realm. This is why we believe in a God first place, because we understand spiritually that it's something within us that is always bringing something forth. You know what I'm saying? We know the laws as within, so without. So that's why we just feel connected to it. It's a feeling thing. It's more so a feeling thing. It can't be explained by words all the time. But we all believe that this is come from somewhere, especially if you deal with me. So I expect you to know that. So what we understand is that when you start questioning things, at least you open to spiritual. You get closer to the spiritual realm, because the spiritual realm is infinite. So it's just a lot of questions and a lot of things that gets answered. And once you communicate with the spirit realm, you'll be able to get a certain amount of answers. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, why I say money needs you and you don't need it. What we deal with, far as in our history, and our history, far as like just us being black people and us building the highest civilization, and us knowing the ins and out of the brain, and and all that, before we even had this type of technology. There's a sense of being there's a sense of inheritance you have. You get what I'm saying? So what we deal with as spiritual people and in my spiritual community, we deal with DNA activation. And in the spirit realm, there's no really age. So it's like you either yeah, I'll be back down. Yeah, so you either I'm sorry, I got off track, but so yeah, we deal with DNA activation, where DNA activation is something that you inherited. So just like your genes, and you're more susceptible to having certain characteristics and features because of just how your genes are. So you have certain type of characteristics and inheritance because of where your spirit and your soul has resonated before. So to understand that, you will have to cultivate that and tap into it. Now, the way you tap into it is based off your own spiritual nature. Now, just because of me and the way I tap into it, I understand that, my ancestors are rich. I understand that they built the highest civilization. And if we all come from one thing, that means our source is infinite. So this is what the Akashic Records is. This is what the Akashic Library is. In the Akashic Records, you have access to all knowledge and all things past, present, and the events they document, events yet to come. So the Akashic Records is, nothing but something kept within you that you can access, and just look that up. But to activate that, it would be based off your spiritual nature. You would have to cultivate it, just as if your father was good at playing the piano, you would have to get good at playing the piano. You would, just as if your father was good at playing the piano, you would have to practice until you're good at playing the piano, but you have an advantage because your father was good at playing the piano. So this is, our spirit is always connected to its origin, its father. And our spirit is always rich, and our spirit is always abundant. So the thing is, people are kind of cut off from their spirit, so they don't really understand that they are this, they are rich, they are that. And like I said, getting into the history, let me get this picture. Getting into the history and realizing that no matter what civilization it was, you had a part in it, and your story was the one told. This is the same picture on all these. It's still the same concept, or just it telling you that you were a part of everything, regardless. And we all understood that because we all come from the same source. So if you come from the same source, and that means you have the right. It is your birthright to be rich. It is your birthright to be wealthy. Now, the mind control is that you feel you have to earn it, and that's not the case. The case is that you have to activate it. So anybody can activate it. Anybody can activate it. You can do any, you can do spells and rituals. You can get you a green candle. You know what I'm saying? Talk to it. You know what I'm saying? Meditate on it. Let it burn. You know what I'm saying? Use it as a symbol of it being activated. This is a simple thing that can just do nothing but get you closer. But like I said, people are so hesitant to try even certain things because their ego just be like, no, that ain't gonna work. But that's the job of the ego, because the ego doesn't do anything but it wants to survive, and it really can't survive in the realms of the spirit. So that's why it doesn't understand it. So that's why it will tell you no. But you have to be spiritually strong enough to initiate yourself into this spiritual shit. You have to be strong enough to initiate yourself into this spiritual realm of reality. And symbols, repetition, and trauma, which is symbols, is just something like this. You know what I'm saying? These are symbols, and these symbols all tell a story. Repetition is just doing something over and over again. Trauma is just doing something as simple as doing something out of your comfort zone can be traumatic to you. So when you realize that, what we're doing to activate ourselves into this wealth so that it can reflect within. Remember, everything in comes out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this flow is. That's what this self-worth flow is. So that's what I meant on the first video when I was talking about as far as it being a thing of self-worth, because self-worth is something you know you have. And so if you're cut off from your origin or what you truly are, then you think you are just, you know, you came over here in boats and saying you're slaves. But that's not the whole story. There's an origin to it, and there's a reason why it happened, you know. And that could have been just someone wanting to manipulate you in this, and you not understanding that you're being manipulated, or you get out with it because of you aren't at your best days, or, you know, then, you know, at the end of the day, it's up to you to pick yourself back up, you know what I'm saying, and say, you know, we all have that. This is the story. We all had a rise and fall, you know what I'm saying? So that self-worth is really just you activating what's in you, what's already yours, your inner spirit. Now, some people don't have to do that by getting into the history, you know what I'm saying? But some people more emotionally connected, and depending on what type of work they're here to do, they need to do that. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. You know, you don't need money. Money needs you, and money needs the real you, because it's going to attract. You know what I'm saying? It's going to attract to what it is supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? What's supposed to be for it, what's supposed to be for you will be for you. But if you're not operating from that point, you're not really up to speed with your true self. You're up to speed. You're not even operating at that speed. So when you operate with that speed and you give yourself the time and the compassion to merge back with yourself, and you clear and you clear up your space of negative energy, and you get that, and you really cultivate that self-worth, then only then will the universe will reflect your true state of being, your state of being, because your state of being right now probably isn't even you probably don't even know what your state of being is. So a lot of people don't even know what a state of being is. And you know, in the simplest form, it's your state of being is how you feel in the moment, pretty much. Well, how you feel at the moment dictates and that's how you react to certain things. That's your state of being. How you react to certain things, what you believe to be, your temperament about things, how you handle moment to moment life affair. And so if you're stressing about money and that's within your state of being, then you're emitting a certain vibration or frequency that says, I don't have, this, I don't have this, I don't have this. But if that same obstacle can come to you and you say, it's fine, I have it, and really understand that and really can uphold that, then the universe has no option but to respond and react to that what you truly feel. Now remember, I said the ego is going to play a hand. So the ego going to be like, it's going to fight against it. But until you master your ego, which is your lower self, and you master your ego by means of your higher self, then, only then will you get the results that you're looking for. So, seek the world. I love y'all. I'm out, man. You know what I'm saying? Peace.
Rolling down Lake Shore Drive, spiritual fights in my head. I battle with my mind, don't wanna mess up the vibe. Scared to say just what I wanna say, in hopes that I don't rub.